This video is sponsored by the Pokemon TCG deck building website PokemonCard.io. Are you looking for sealed product and singles? You can find it all on Channel Fireball. Please use my Tailmon affiliate code when checking out to help support my content. Looking for PTGO codes? Potown Store has all the latest sets and promos, instantly delivered to your email. You can use Tailmon code when checking out for 5% off. If you're from Europe, Millipots Gaming has a wide array of sealed products, singles, and more. You can use Tailmon code when checking out for 5% off. Card Market is Europe's largest online marketplace for Pokemon cards. Whether you're looking for sealed product or singles, vintage or the latest sets, just follow the link in the description to find what you need. Want to show off your love for Tablemon? Check out my 2021 merch. These new hoodies and shirts are available on Amazon. Click on the link in the description to get yours. Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video here. We're going to be playing with LEAFEON today. LEAFEON VMAX, a pretty cool card with 310 HP, which seems to be the norm for the evolutions. Has the attack Grass Knot, which does 60 damage for each colorless in your opponent's active Pokemon's retreat cost. So that means we need ways to increase the retreat cost, right? And how are we going to do it? With Galar Mine. Galar Mine means the retreat cost of both active Pokemon is 2 more, right? Which is really good. That's base 120 damage, and then most things have either 1 or 2. Some even have 3 retreat cost. Of course, Air Balloon is something that is heavily played right now, and that eliminates 2 of the retreat cost of some Pokemon. However, we are playing Tool Jammer to make sure that the Air Balloons are not working, and therefore we get the benefit of Galar Mine, and we can do a lot of damage to an opponent's Pokemon. Now, we're utilizing once again the Inteleon line to help us in setting up. We have our capture energies to help us in setting up as well. A ton of search, and LEAFEON V's ability Greening Cells. Once in your turn, you may search your deck for a grass energy card and attach it to one of your Pokemon, and then you shuffle your deck. So LEAFEON V powering itself up is really nice, really useful way to get energy into play, potentially split energies between 2 LEAFEONs on turn 1, have them both powered up, or just to guarantee that you get those 2 energies ready for LEAFEON VMAX to attack. It does have the attack max leaf as well. Probably not going to be using it as much, but it's still a useful option to have 170 damage and you heal 30 damage from this Pokemon. 170 is perfect to 2-hit KO every tag team, or every VMAX and tag team, I guess, out there. But we're thinking more about VMAXs now, looking more into post-rotation. So not going to be very common our usage of Max Leaf, but it's still there as an option. Now, because we do increase the retreat cost of all of our Pokemon, playing our own Air Balloons didn't seem as great of an idea, because we do want the Galar Mine in play as much as we can. So that's why I'm playing 3 switches and a single copy of Bird Keeper to help me with the switching around and the moving of my Pokemon in case they get dragged up by a boss, or in case I don't actually start with the LEAFEON. So let's jump into a ladder, see what we can do with LEAFEON VMAX. Alright, up against Flagias 31. Alright. So we do lose the coin flip. The opponent taking a bit here. Okay, no LEAFEON, but thankfully we can avoid the mishap of not attaching energy on turn 1 in case we don't get it, because we can just use our ability, which is fantastic. I would love to start with a LEAFEON instead of a Sobble to avoid having to fetch a switch to start attacking, but can't have it all, right? Can't have it all. Alright, everyone starts at the Dene. That's always good to see, right? That means they won't use the Dene, and then we just get the immediate concession. Okay, so useless game. Let's continue and let's find another match. I mean, I can't fault my opponent. I know it happens plenty of times to me where I just see my opening hand and I already know that I'm not not going to win that game, or I'm not going to win 9 out of 10 times, because as long as my opponent gets something going, so I just end up conceding myself. But a lot of people don't like that, and they have this mentality of play to your last breath, right? Which I understand, right? I definitely understand that, but I feel like that sort of mindset is not the best when it comes to playing at regionals or even League Cups. I mean, if it's best of 1, sure, but if it's best of 3, then there's a lot of merit to be had in making sure that you have enough time to play other full and better games. You know? All right, so now we have a pretty ideal start. Gonna go ahead and search for LEAFEON, and then I'm gonna check on my energies. I do have all 4 grass here. I have a really good hand. I don't know if I should play the switch yet though, because I could get Marnied out of the switch. I think, yeah, I'm just gonna go for the switch here. Play it preemptively, and then this allows you to attach the energy to any Pokemon, right? So we're gonna use Greening Cells. I'm just gonna go ahead and attach the energy to my active Pokemon. LEAFEON is ready to go. Very nice, and my hand is as good as you can hope for. Research, well, LEAFEON VMAX to evolve, start taking knockouts, and then research to replenish my hand. Hopefully establish some drizzles, get closer to Intellience, get closer to the bonus damage, all the good stuff. So this sort of hand, the ideal setup, right? The absolutely ideal setup. So now we see that we're up against Ice Rider, probably playing Balloons, right? So we do want to make sure that we are sharding off those. In the end, we're both gonna be two-shotting each other, so it's not gonna be super impactful how much damage we're doing. As long as it's always a two-shot, it's gonna be a back and forth, right? It's gonna be a back and forth. Ooh, actually, this 40 damage could actually matter. However, now if I get a Stadium, I knock out my opponent, and I just top deck the Stadium by getting the Drizzle. So my opponent's going to immediately regret not knowing what LEAFEON VMAX does, and also immediately regret not knowing what, or playing that scoop up, right? So pretty nice. Now it has a 4 retreat cost, 4 times 6, that's 24. I am able to find another Drizzle, which is fantastic. And I can establish another friend as well. Don't really need much else, honestly. I mean, I guess I can grab this. For now, I can definitely attach this here. Establish another Sobble, don't need to play another LEAFEON. Let's go ahead and play this. The opponent says I have a good deck. We'll send a happy face, and we'll take our knockout on the Ice Rider. So now we're definitely in a very good and solid situation, right? And there's a victory. Yep, simple enough. 2 games, 2 wins, 1 immediate concession before the game even started, 1 concession before turn 2. So pretty powerful, right? Pretty powerful. I feel like it's straightforward, right? It's straightforward, and it does what it needs to do consistently, hopefully. So making sure you finish your turn with an energy is huge. I cannot stress how important that is and how impactful that is. You know, I really cannot stress how impactful and important that is. So I'm pretty happy about that. Let's keep trucking along. The Blob is back with a Rayquaza one. Hopefully we're up against Rayquaza VMAX. That would be a nice matchup to see here. We do lose a coin flip. We're going to choose to go first. And playing LEAFEON right now is pretty safe, I would say. Ooh, this hand's such one. Because there's no fire really in the meta game, so it's really okay to just go ahead and play LEAFEON. It's like you're playing a non-weak VMAX. 60 more damage. Reading up on Leaf Blade just in case I end up needing to attack with it. It is Rayquaza VMAX. Indeed, Rayquaza VMAX. Not the best card to top deck at all. Yikes. Okay, I don't expect to get hit, right? So I'll just go ahead and bring the cells onto the active. So I've thinned a few cards. I hope I get Marnie, right? That's our hope right here. To do the switch. And we see the research, alright. Rose gone, Marnie. Would have been nice to get Marnie. I'm surprised my opponent switched. So we do see the Rayquaza VMAX. And just goes hard on the discard, which is what the deck does, you know? It's pretty normal for this to happen. Alright, and we just see a Max Burst. We have a few good top decks, I guess. Chooses to discard the Lightning. I mean, not the best, not the worst. I wish I had split the energy now. I mean, I can attack, but I just lose the LEAFEON, right? And that would really suck. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I could retreat into the other LEAFEON. Maybe that's worth it, actually. I think that's worth it. I don't expect to be KO'd next turn. And then we'll go ahead and greening cells and attach to the active. I think that is the right way to go. Because then the active doesn't go down, hopefully. Because the VMAX has a 2 retreat cost, now it has a 0 retreat cost. Oof. Well, my opponent just has the other copy of Rose in their hand. And didn't attach the energy. Chose to risk not getting the KO. I mean, my hand was dead, right? So not much I can actually do about that. I don't get KO'd right here. My opponent still needs to attach energy to the active. He has used Crobat, he has used his ability. Can't Dynamotor to the active. So I don't go down. Alright. My LEAFEON somehow survives. Okay. So let's do this. Go ahead and do this. Does healing 30 damage ever matter here? I don't think it does. It sucks that I tilted that capture though. Okay, I am out of all my grass energies. So I have to Marnie here. I could Bird Keeper, I guess. See what I get. Ugh, it feels awful though. I'm just gonna Marnie. Sure. I'll go ahead and attach, establish another Sobble. And we'll go ahead and Marnie. Not super happy about that, but it is what it is. I am able to find the VMAX and the Tool Jammer. So there is a chance I survive the turn. That would be really nice. If I can actually survive this turn with the LEAFEON VMAX, that would be fantastic. Alright, so Grass Knot doing a ton of damage, Herballoon doesn't work, down 1 stadium. We'll see. We shall see what my opponent has in store for me. Yeah, just a switch, like my opponent gets a knockout with the Rayquaza, right? That actually works. So all my opponent needs is a switch. Decides to thin the Kricketune, we'll go for the Azure Ray. We need my opponent to whip the switch. Not very likely. That's a second Azure Ray that my opponent gets. Herballoon doesn't help. Herballoon does not help. 3 more cards. We're down to research and to Marnies. So they might actually whip here. Oh my gosh, did they? Did my opponent actually whiff here? The stadium would have worked as well. I mean, I don't know my opponent's counts, but this is huge. This is actually huge. I really don't know if they have it or not. They might be slow playing it. No, okay, nice. And my opponent decides to concede. I disagree with that. I fully disagree with that concession. I fully disagree with that concession. Unless, I didn't check, I was going to check how many lightning energy my opponent had in their discard pile. Because if they had 8, and they somehow prized their remaining stadiums and their remaining switches, maybe that's why they conceded. I don't, like, it doesn't make sense though. Why would you concede? I was never going to one-shot the next Rayquaza. You don't have to discard all the energies. So you let me take the KO, you promote the Rayquaza, eventually you find a switch, right? And so you just power up Rayquaza a ton and you knock out the next Leafeon, and that's it. Very weird choice by my opponent. Very weird choice. But I'm glad we were able to maneuver that really awful early game. Really awful. Okay. Gonna go ahead and mulligan. My opponent will see the Galar Mine and should assume, right, that it's Leafeon. There's no other deck that plays this. Really. There's no other deck that plays this. Okay, I actually mulliganed twice. Once again, the ability here is like, it's really making up for the fact that I'm whiffing at turn 1 attachment. Like really big time. Okay. So we definitely want to do this. We're just gonna go big on the triple Sobble with the double Leafeon into the greening ability with a fantastic hand. I could use Crobat. I'm okay whiffing the attachment and just utilizing my ability. So all's good, you know? That, like, this is a dream start. This is an absolute dream start for the deck. The only thing that would have made this better would have been an actual energy attachment. A capture energy. That's the only thing that would have improved this. Okay. Alright. So we're undefeated with Leafeon so far. We've only played one real game. I guess 2, where the Ice Rider just had no clue. The Ice Rider player had no clue what they were up against. But hey. Let's keep going. Let's keep the win streak going. Psychic Water. What is a Psychic Water deck? Okay, we're going first. Let's just find a Leafeon and you're good. And this is a fantastic hand. An absolutely fantastic hand. The only thing that would make this better would be a Quick Pull or a Level Ball instead of a second capture to get 2 Sobbles down. Oh, that's what this is. That's what this is. It's Malamar. Okay, that makes sense. So I do have to be aware of the retreat, and wow, it's like I'm calling them. Wow. Thank you, deck. Thank you very much. Alright. Not threatened on turn 1. Powering myself up is really good. Have a follow-up capture, guaranteed LEAFEON VMAX, and Marnie Disruption. Can't ask for much else. I love the consistency that capture energies offer, that quick pulse offer. It's fantastic. It's really fantastic. Alright. Triple Inkay for my opponent. I don't reckon the Galar Mine will ever like mess with my opponent. It would just be important if at any point they play their stadium to get free retreat, so then we would be doing 0 damage with Grass Knot. That's the only time. Okay, so with this current hand, and with my opponent's current setup, I absolutely believe the right play is to go after the Remoraid. Taking advantage of the fact that I have a Boss's Orders in my hand, I should absolutely knock out the Remoraid, because then that slows down his whole deck basically. So let's go ahead and establish yet another Sobble. And let's go ahead and boss. And yeah. Oh, for a second there I was like, oh, does this have 70 HP? Did I just mess up? No, it has 60 HP. And a 1 retreat cost, which is more than enough. Perfect. Okay, so no artillery access for my opponent. That will really limit the amount of damage that they can do. And the healing from Max Leaf could actually come into play now. The healing from Max Leaf could actually come into play if an Oricorio GX gets established at some point, which my opponent did not grab right now. That could also come into play. So important to keep note of, keep tab of those things. My opponent purposely chose not to grab Oricorio, so that means either they chose that, or maybe it's priced, right? I would be a little bit more inclined to say that it might be priced. Alright, so depending on what my opponent does here, how much damage they do, 310 HP means they need 8 cards total, right? My abilities don't matter, so I'm okay. Path to Peak pretty much confirms no Oricorio GX, right? Like, why would you play Path to Peak in this deck with Oricorio GX? Overall, Path to Peak in that deck doesn't make much sense to me, but I'll take it, you know? Okay, puts back the Octillery. That tells me they have a decent-ish hand. But now healing the 30 damage matters, because it's like they didn't do damage this turn. So that actually really matters. And now, I can search for another Boss's Orders. And I think I'm gonna eliminate the Minccino. So a really, really good top deck for me. I'm gonna go ahead and Max Leaf. I don't know if you can hear. My dog is actually snoring so loud. My dog is actually snoring. Oh. Anyways, killing the Minccino means I delay 2 cards each turn from my opponent. Octillery gets them 1 Rapid Strike card. Minccino has a possibility to get them more, potentially 2, but maybe even more cards. So, alright, they play Path to Peak and Tower of Waters. Interesting. Would not have expected that. That is the third Karina's Focus that my opponent will play. Healing that 30 damage might actually end up being important. I reckon it actually might. And so another important thing to consider here is this deck usually doesn't play ghost effects. So attacking with an Inteleon could actually be a good idea. Like powering up an Inteleon could actually be a good call. I just top decked another way to get another Boss's Orders. So, I mean, the deck's providing the help. It'd be silly to not utilize it, right? It would actually be very silly to not utilize the help that the deck is gifting me. And we'll go ahead and start using Quick Shooting, which is also pretty nice. So let's go ahead and Quick Shooting on an Inkay, put pressure on my opponent to evolve, and we'll go ahead and knock out the Octillery. That's 3 turns of back-to-back Boss's Orders, and that's the beauty of the Inteleon line. Searching for cards, there's nothing better, right? You need something, you search for it. Boom, end of story, right? No, I'm gonna research, see if I hit, hope I hit. I hate the word hope. You're always trying not to hope, you're trying to guarantee. And when you're thinning cards, what you're mostly focusing on, right, is in avoiding that hope, right? You don't want to be hoping to hit the cards, you want to actually hit them. Okay, my opponent chooses not to evolve that Inkay. They have 1 Malamar left. They need 7 Rapid Strike cards to get a knockout. If they do, then I might be punished for my constant pressure, but they don't have 7 cards in their hand, so they actually can't knock me out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not even benching the Remoraid, which I think is a mistake. one card left in their hand. Wow. Wow. Okay. Definitely gonna power up there. Definitely gonna evolve there. And just grab the other Drizzle, I reckon. Well, no, not really. I'm gonna grab a Color Mine. I need the Color Mine, actually. Well, I don't need it. Never mind, I don't need it. We'll go ahead and play it, and then I don't know what my opponent has in their hand. They have one card. It must be a research, right? Their line of play doesn't make sense unless it's research. Then we'll go ahead and place the damage counter there. We shall go ahead and evolve, right, into the other VMAX. Have that ready. Oh, I got confused. I was like, wait, this is not the VMAX, this is the VMAX. It's so weird when VMAXs aren't like different shapes, I guess, not shapes, but when VMAXs aren't different Pokemon, like they don't have a Gigantamax form, if you will, where they're not explicitly different. It happened to me a ton with Dragapult. I would confuse the VMAX and the V like more often than I'd like to admit. Okay, so that was the card that they were probably holding, the Bruno. So they will finally take a knockout, right? They should finally be taking a knockout. However, if my opponent doesn't evolve this Inkay, the game is over. My opponent absolutely needs to evolve that Inkay in order for the game to continue. Otherwise, I evolve, double quick shooting, and get the KO right there. Does find the Malamar. Barely will be getting the knockout here, I reckon. One card left in their hand. So now they have to get a one-shot on LEAFEON VMAX. 8 cards. Doesn't seem very likely, right? Doesn't seem very likely. Okay. So let's go ahead and evolve. Let's go ahead and grab a Drizzle for what? I mean, I'm not really looking for anything anymore. King Jammer? No. I guess Marty. I don't have boss, I don't need boss either. The game's over next turn. Either my opponent gets an incredible turn and wins, or my opponent gets a terrible turn and loses. And it's so weird. Doing 300 damage to that Malamar. Why does Malamar have 3 retreat costs, whereas Rayquaza VMAX, the humongous gigantic Pokemon, has 2? Pokemon logic, right? Hashtag Pokemon logic. You have a good deck. You have a good deck. 5 card hand. And the game is over. GG Pirafu. Undefeated with LEAFEON. I mean, consistency wise, this deck felt really good. Really good. Obviously I got pretty lucky with the top decks to continue the boss's orders chase on their support Pokemon. Like Malamar, it's easy for the deck to replace Malamar because it has so much draw and so much support Pokemon. But if you knock out the support Pokemon, then the deck starts faltering quite a bit, as we saw, right? Towards the end of the game, it stops them from easily replenishing their hands with rapid strike cards. That's gonna be it for LEAFEON. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for the continued support. I will say COVID is really affecting me and Tablemon, especially these past few months. So all the support that I get in the channel is always well received, and all the support that you do show with our sponsors, especially when you use my Tablemon code where you can, it really makes a big difference. So yeah, it's been a rough. The last 3 months have been pretty rough. The pandemic definitely didn't affect me in the beginning too much, but now it's definitely been affecting me quite a bit, and even like in my mental health, as I'm sure many of you saw with the Players Cup, raging and whatnot. So hopefully the PTCG live news got me pretty excited. So hopefully better things are to come, and I can't say thank you enough to those of you who are here day to day watching the videos, subscribing, liking, sharing, etc. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.